today we're going to revisit certain core component or concepts of Python, whatever I've got it through the feedback of assessment from yourself. Now the concepts I'm going to revisit through certain animations and with some reinforcement. Those are especially the input print statement, data types, typecasting, and loops. Now these loops are especially for the advanced studies, but still I'm just going to include or incorporate those things in the lesson. So let's start. Now in this case, actually let's start with a very simple program. Accept your name and age and print the same. That means you have to accept your name and age from the prompt through Python, and you have to print the same. That means you have to print whatever you have accepted as name and age, that is to be printed. Now let's check the output first, because I think it is better to check the output whatever I'm getting or whatever displays I'm going to get. Now if you check the screen at the very top, you can find it out that whenever the program has been executed, accept your name, first name, that is a statement whatever has been given, and ABCD I have accepted. Accept your age, I have accepted 22. Now after accepting those two things, as soon as you press the enter button, you can find out the output. My name is ABCD and my age is 22. That means whatever you have accepted, those things have been printed, and both the acceptance of data from the console, that means the keyboard, and the displaying the content as output on the monitor is incorporating one value part and one is prompt part. That means it is not a simple 22 or ABCD. These are my name is, my age is, or accept your first name, accept your age. These are called prompt. So whenever I include the prompt with the value or variable, whenever you are accepting or whenever you are going to give the output, it is better for understanding. It is only that purpose. Now if this is the output, or if this is the thing whatever you can check whenever you execute the program, please check the core program in Python. Now whenever you are going to do the same thing, you can find it out. I have used two different variables, one for accepting your name and one for accepting your age. Now in both the cases I have used the command or statement, basically the keyword for accepting anything from the keyboard, that is input. Within input, within bracket, within double quotes, I have to mention the prompt. The prompts are there, accept your first name and accept your age. So whenever the execution of the program is being done, these prompts are being shown, values are being accepted from the user, and the things are being stored in a respective variable. Age should be in M and name in the N. Now when I'm going to print it, I have to write down the same thing, but the thing is that in that case prompt should be within double quotes, then give a comma, then you write down or mention the name of the variable. So my name is, that has been put within double quotes, then comma, then N. That means my name is should be printed directly, and after that the value of the variable N will be displayed. Hence why you have seen in the output also that my name is ABCD. Similarly, my age is 22. It will be there. Now I think this portion is quite clear for you. So whenever you are going to have the formatted input or formatted output with prompt, you can follow the same thing. Now come to another point, that whenever I am dealing with this, that is a keyword I have already mentioned, and that is the prompt part. And the next case, that is during the print output, that is initially the prompt, and then it is the variable part. Now come to another program or another small program, whatever can enhance your understanding. Now I'm just going to change certain minute changes in the program. Accept your age and print the age of your elder brother if he is 10 years older than you. That means you have to accept your age, and if your elder brother is 10 years older than you, then what should be his age? That means you have to accept only one thing, and then you have to add 10 with it, and whatever is the value, that is to be printed. I think mathematically it is the question of class 3 or 4, but please check it out how the things are going to happen as per the program. Now in this case, I am going to show the program first. As per the concept shown earlier, just whatever you've just seen, that there should be a single variable, because I have to accept only one thing, age. I have accepted it, and after that I have written or used a variable called brother, and in that brother equals to M plus 10. That means whatever is the value of M, that should be added with 10, and that should be stored in the variable called brother. Now I'm not talking about it whether the program is correct or not. But the way I have programmed the previous one, I am doing the same thing over here, just using one extra statement, that brother equals to m plus 10. So normally accept the value of age in the m, then m plus 10 is going to be the new value, and that should be assigned to brother, and printing should be done. My brother's age is, that is the prompt message, comma brother. Now in that case brother is the variable. I think it's very okay. Now please check out what is the, if I run the program, then what you are going to have. Now if you run the program, you can accept the age because that statement is correct. Input, accept your age. But after that, whenever you want to add m plus 10 and you want to assign it to brother, then an error message comes. And the error is very specific, line number 5, brother equals to m plus 10. And the type of error is can only concatenate str to str. Now hence why this is the core concept. I found it out. The things are not very clear with you. So I've incorporated this special program or concept, that whenever I've added m with 10, I did not think about the implicit data type of m. I've simply accepted age in m. So I thought it is numeric. So I added 10 with it, and I've assigned that thing into brother. So I thought if it is 20, so 20 plus 10 it will be 30. But instead of that, it has given an error message. And that is the core concept or component you have to understand today. That numeric, whatever you accept from the console, they are always string in nature. String stands for a collection of characters. Now whatever I have accepted from the console, if I have accepted 5, this is, it looks like a 5, but it is not a number 5. This is a character 5 or string. So a string cannot be added with a number. That is a number 5, and I tried to, that is a character 5, and I tried to add it with the number 10. So a character cannot be added with a number. Both things should be either numeric or both things should be string. But in case of string, the things are called concatenations in other ways, but not the numeric additions. I think things are very clear to you. The message gives you a simple, prominent core component or concept about the addition of string and numeric additions. So I tried to add m with 10, so it is not possible because m is actually holding, it looks like a number, but that is not a number 5, that is a character 5. I think things are very clear. So number to number addition is possible, but not character or string with a numeric. So what I have to do? That I have to do is that whatever I have accepted from the console, we know right now that implicitly whatever you accept from the console, these are all character in nature. So I have to convert into numeric, then I can add it into a number. Now let's understand the concept again. So whatever I have done, initially it was m input accepted age, just I have included one extra keyword, int. I think we have also gone through it earlier, what is called the typecasting, conversion of data from one type to the other. That is supposed to be done, whatever you did not do in the actual program. So what you have to do, you have to simply change this particular statement, m equals to input should be converted into m equals to int within bracket input and rest of the statement. If you write it out, then the program is going to okay. And why it is okay? Let's check it with a diagram. Suppose you are having an ice cube, you want to put it in a bottle. So normally it is not possible. Whenever you have a bottle, that type of thing, what you have to do, you have to simply melt it. Whenever it is being converted into such a format which can be poured in a bottle, then you can keep it. Directly ice cannot be put inside a bottle. The same thing is going to be applicable for these cases, whatever you call the typecasting. Now whatever you have inserted or accepted from the keyboard, that is a character 5. Now character are be represented by double quotes. Since you have not given double quote, but still whatever you accepted from keyboard, it may be any number. But if I accept 23, this is 23 for you. But for the Python, if you accept it through the input command, that is a character 3 but not a number 3. If I accept 23, it looks like I am accepting number 23, but it is not a number 23, that is a character 23. So if you want to convert numeric 5 or character 5 into a numeric 5, what you have to do? You have to go through a typecasting. Whatever I included, that whatever you accept from the keyboard, please go through the proper channel of int so that the character 5 can be converted in number 5 and then it is being accepted. So the statement to whatever you are just going to see on the display, that if m equals to int within bracket input, that means accept your age and then whatever is accepted from the user, that is to be converted into integer and again it is being stored in m variable. Now it is correct. Now check it out, what are the things I am going to mention. 5 the value accepted from the console, and in that case console stands for the keyboard. Then int is nothing but the typecast operator which is going to convert the character 5 into the number 5, and 5 is the particular value assigned to variable m. I think the things are concepts are very clear to you. So please don't forget, this is the core concept of conversion or typecasting. If you do not do it, then you will be having that type of error whatever you have seen. Now come to the next part. Now I think the things are very clear to you. The accept your age, you have accepted 20. Now as per the program, brother equals to m plus 10. So if the value of m right now, because I have already incorporated that corrected or edited statement. So right now 20 has been accepted, but that is the character 20 that will be converted into automatically into number 20 because I have used the typecast operator int, and then that is being added with 10, so it is become 30. So m plus 10 right now is 30 and 30 has been assigned to brother variable. So right now it has been printed that my brother's age is 30. Now below that you can find it out, another two statements. I have accepted two different numbers from the console, 11 and 22, but in this case you can find out the output, and that is check the sum of number 1 and number 2, and whenever I have displayed it, the output is not 33 but this is 101 and 22. What is it? Obviously the question may come into your mind that if I have added the number 11 and 22, now why it is not 33, why it is 11 and 22? Now this is nothing but a string concatenations. In string concatenations, the things are not being numerically added, but the contents are being placed side by side. I am repeating the thing again. Contents are being placed side by side. This is the formula which is being applied whenever you accept the first name, middle name and surname separately, and you can find out the full name because they are just going to concatenate the strings. And we know already that whatever you accept through the keyboard or console, those are character in nature if you do not convert it to number using the typecast operator. So whenever accepting the numbers, those are by nature implicitly these are strings. So whenever I try to add number 1 and number 2, these are actually a string additions, and in case of string additions the values are being put side by side. Hence I have got 11 and 22. Still please check the program and you can find it out. X equals to input, that means X is directly accepting the value. I have accepted 11, there is no typecast. Similar thing is happening for Y. I am accepting second value. You can find it out, it was initially 22, so that is a character 22. So whenever we are writing X plus Y, these are not numeric 11 and 22, but these are strings 11 and 22, because we know that if you do not typecast any variable expression for after input, those will be string in nature, and strings cannot be added to a number, but two strings can be added with each other, and the things are not numeric one, things are actually going to place it side by side. Please check the diagrams again. This is brother equals 10 plus 10. Right now this is a numeric 10 plus numeric 20, so obviously the output is 30. But in second case the things is totally different. Whenever I am adding X and Y, if the X is 11 and those are actually character 11, and if Y is character 22, so 11 plus 22 is nothing but a string 1122. I think the concept is very clear to you. Now the ultimate thing, I think whatever I have just gone through right now, implicit data type by default, obviously whenever I am accepting any value from the user, implicitly the variable which is holding the data is having the data type of string, because we do not have any typecast by default. Similarly, whenever explicit data type, if I forcefully change the type of variable or data type accepted from the user or whatever accepting from the user forcefully using the typecast converter, then the output type is nothing but as you wish. If I use int, it should be converted into integer type of value. If I use float, it will be converted into float, that means the value is the decimal part. Now let's go through a series problem, sum of the series, and if you check it properly, this is nothing but the sum of the factorials of first 5 natural numbers. This is nothing but the sum of the factorials of the first 5 natural numbers, and in that case you can find it out. Whatever I have shown you, those are the 1, then 1 into 2, then 1 into 2 into 3, 1 into 2 into 3 into 4, 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So multiplication product of all natural numbers starting from 1 is called the factor of that natural number. Now, if you find it out, two things are separately being happening. One is addition, which is ultimately being done, and one is the multiplication part. And I think we have already gone through the nested loop. So in case of nested loop, in outer loop we have to do the additions, and within the inner loop, that's the loop number 2, we have to do the multiplication of product. Now let's check the flowchart first. I is taking care of the outer loop. So in this case, there are loop will be repeated 5 times because there are 5 terms. So I should be initiated with 1, and it will be continued till it is less than 6, and then the task 1 is there. If for that, this is the thing we used to do, and what if to do, that is nothing but another loop, and that is the loop number 2, which is going to take care of multiplication of all natural numbers till that number. So in loop number 2, whenever it is being repeated for the second time, it will be 1 into 2. For third time it will be 1 into 2 into 3. That means the function of task 1 is to do the product, the outer loop which is being taken care by I, to add this particular product or factorial. Now let's check out the loop number 2 also. That is the loop number 2. The loop variable is different, that is the j, and what I am doing in the task, j is less than I plus 1, and the thing I am doing is p equals to p into j. That means whatever is the value of j, that is being multiplied and stored in a variable called accumulator, and that is the p. So when j is 1, the loop will be repeated 1, so p will be 1. But when j is 2, then p will be having p into j, that means it will be 1 into 2. When j is 3, so p will be ultimately storing 1 into 2 into 3, and whatever is being done for each and every time, the ultimate values are actually being stored in sum. Now if you go through the table, the things are very clear to you. So when the value of I is 1, j starts from 1, it is up to 1. So p equals to p into j, so p initially it is 1, so 1 into 1 is 1, and ultimately that is being stored in 1. Then when I is 2, the loop durations is, there are two values of j, 1 and 2. So the inner loop will be repeated twice, and the value of p will be ultimately 1 into 2. So whenever you come out of that loop, then S is going to have 1 was previously the value, and currently it will be storing 2. Similarly, when the value of I is 3, the loop will be from 1 to 3. So ultimately the value of p will be 1 into 2 into 3 whenever it will be repeated thrice, and whenever it comes out of the loop, third loop, but it is within the outer loop, so it will be 1 plus 2 into 3. 1 plus 2 was automatically there, but for the third repetitions, the value of p will be added, that is 6, and it is being continued for 5 times, and whenever you complete it, this is going to be 153. I think things are very clear to you. Now have a concept about it, go for it, and please ready to take the next challenge. Stay at home, stay healthy, and stay fit.